evening, fam bam. It's your girl Kim, and I'm back today with the video. The last video I did it on steroids because it was something that, a complication that I had to deal with. Today, I'm just coming back to do a video because it's been a while. It's summer, of course, and I had a great summer thus far, and I will be starting back to school soon. The kids are out, everybody is happy. We just came off a family vacay, and I'm looking forward to going another one. But what I'm gonna do today, I just came really briefly to say hello. How's everybody else summer going? And I wanted to share my meatloaf recipe with you. It's a very quick, simple recipe, and I actually got this recipe from my mother. So I want to share this recipe with you guys while I talk. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to get your ground beef. And some people that may not eat ground beef, they might eat turkey, but this is your ground beef. You're going to take your ground beef, you're going to open your ground beef, you're going to put it over in your bowl. And it really takes only about 10 minutes to prepare this. Then you'll cook it for, I normally cook it for about an hour. I cook it on like 370, between 365 and 370 for an hour. And while it's cooking, I normally make up my sauce. Now you can do like the brown gravy if you choose to, and you can also do like the red gravy, which I love the red gravy. I use like the tomato sauce, and I put in a little brown sugar, a little honey or something where it won't be so tart. And that's what I use. We normally use the red gravy. And of course, I use the homemade mashed potatoes. Now, the box mashed potatoes probably isn't so bad, but I always use the homemade mashed potatoes because all you're really doing is just cutting up your mashed potatoes. You boil them for a while until they get like really soft. Once you boil your mashed potatoes, all you do is put your little salt in it, put your little milk in it, put your little margarine in it, and you just continue to stir it until, you know, it gets very soft and palatable. And you kind of taste it to your desired taste. You can add a little pepper if you choose to, but I always use just a little salt, a little margarine, a little milk, and some parsley flakes to kind of set it up on top. And I will put a dish up once I finish. Okay, I got the ground beef. You're gonna just kind of chop your ground beef up, and then you can purchase McCormick. I love McCormick. They have this meatloaf seasoning mix, and I got the one with a little less sodium in it this time because I'm trying to cut back on the salt. I hit the big 39. It is time to do better. It is time to eat healthier. And I know I always say these things, and I always remember, of course. I do have a bag where I can put this in the trash. But this is your meatloaf now. With that, I think there was about probably 2 pounds of ground beef. And you're going to use a whole packet to that 2 pounds of ground beef. You're just going to open your packet. And this have a little thing on here to tell you on the back. McCormick seasoning mix, 2 pounds of lean ground beef or turkey, 2 eggs, a half a cup of milk, and then 1/4 cup of dry bread. So I really have the same recipe on here that I normally use also. So it's really a quick and simple recipe. This is the same recipe I use. I actually got it from my mother, and I'm not for sure where my mother got it from. But it's pretty much the same as McCormick, and it's delicious. What I'm going to do is I pour half of the packet on the top side of the ground beef, and I constantly stir until I can get it halfway through, and I don't see any seasoning on top. And once I do that, I will pour the remainder half a pack on here, and I will season that through. So now I'm going to pour the rest of it on here. Empty packet. And you just continue to stir. Well, I continue to stir until I get it blended really, really well. And even though it might be a little hard to blend with just your ground beef and your seasoning because the meat is kind of tough, when you add your eggs and when you add your milk, it's really going to be soft, more softer to maneuver for you. So I'm going to just stir it a little bit. And it's something simple. I love things that I can put into the oven because I don't have to just really like run and tend to it like I'm frying some chicken, you know. If I put it in the oven, put it on a little low temp, I just go back and forth to check it, but I know it takes like an hour to cook because I cook it, you know, all the time. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on and put my 2 eggs in my ground beef. And I actually already had them in this cup. I already had cracked them, had it in this cup. Okay. So once I get my eggs in, I'm going to stir it up like really, really well again. And it's going to stir much easier with these eggs in here. I put eggs in my homemade burgers also. But I know we're not talking about burgers right now. Right now we're talking about this simple meatloaf recipe that tastes really, really well. If you try it, you won't be sad. Okay. And I can guarantee you it takes probably about 10 minutes or less to mix this up. If I wasn't talking to you guys, I would have really been done. All right. So I got this mixed up pretty good, as you can see. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go on and crumble. I got 2 slices of bread, right? But I'm going to crumble one, and then I'm going to add some milk and see if I need to add another one. And I already washed my hands and everything before I got started. Even though you may be cooking at home for your family and not for other people, you still need to wash your hands, because we do 1,000 things in the daytime or at nighttime. You're cleaning, you're picking up this, you're doing this, maybe washing clothes, and there's always germs everywhere. Okay, so I got 1 slice of bread included, and looks like it's gonna take that second slice. And it says a half a cup of milk. I always pour about 3/4 cups of milk. And I just use what I need, and then I put the other back, because I always kind of pre-pour it in a clean container, and I can always put it back. So I'm going to put this to the side. And tell me, what have you guys been doing for the summer? Is everybody working? I actually been out work now about 3 weeks. And my body is so rested, baby. It's rested. I needed that break. Because trying to go to school, trying to work, trying to take care of kids, I needed a break with no work. Even though I've been a little bit under the weather, it's all good because I'm coming back this way now. Okay, I'm about to pour this milk. Yeah, I know I'm country. Y'all heard me say pour this milk. But I've been missing you all. And I always say every time I come back, every 2 or 3 months and make a video, I'm always missing you all. Life just takes me. It takes me away. All right. I'm going to go ahead and mix this other slice of bread up, because we're going to make this 10 minutes. Now, once I make this 10 minutes, what I'll do is I will come back once the meatloaf is done, and I will show you guys how it looks once it's done. But as I stated, it really doesn't take 10 minutes. You get your 2 pounds of ground beef. I really could already have the ground beef in the bowl, and I toasted my bread already, 2 slices of toast bread. I had my 2 eggs already cracked, and I already had my milk together. So therefore, 10 minutes prep time, baby. Put it in the oven. While it's in the oven cooking for about an hour, then you're going to peel your potatoes. It's not going to take your potatoes very, very long to soften up. And then once they soften up, you blend them up really good. Add your milk again. As I stated, a little salt, some butter, and season it to your desired taste. And you got a meal. Put some little gravy on top. Baby, you got a meal. Kids going to love it. So what we'll eat today is meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and we'll do watermelon, something healthy, because we got this heavy starch with potatoes. But it's all blended up, as you can see. And all I'm about to do now is get ready to plate it. Well, not plate it, but put it in my meatloaf, the casserole. And trust me, it's so good. The kids are always fighting over it. It turns out really good. And there's many other ways you can do. You can add like onions and stuff to it. You can do a lot to it, but I normally don't do that. My kids don't care for onions very much. I'm an onion freak, but I don't care for onions very much. So I normally leave the onions and stuff out, because you can always spice it up and you know, other different ways. But all I do is just make it up, as I told you guys, and put it in the oven and let it rip. Let it rip for an hour. Then I just make my gravy, put my gravy on top. And that's about a wrap. I got it in here. I'm just kind of get it in the pan in my casserole dish level. And it's ready for the oven. And we at 10 minutes, but I'm done. I'll just smooth it on out for you all. So that's about the size of it. Smooth it on out. When I did the steroid video, I was like, it's time to share. I really didn't prepare like I prepared in the beginning when I really wanted to talk about it. So I went to the computer to kind of find some stuff to do out. But those steroids are horrible. I don't think you can almost pay me $1,000 to want to take a lot of them again like that. All right, here you go. Meatloaf ready. So I will return shortly. All right, fam, I'm back. I have about 26 more minutes before this meatloaf is ready, and I will mix it up and I will come back. But in the meantime, what I did was I used the Mountain, what is this? Let me see what type of potatoes these are. I use these potatoes all the time in a purple bag. Mountain King potatoes. This is a 10-pound bag, as you can see. And I pretty much did at least 9 pounds because it's all I have left. So I chopped up the potatoes. Then I already washed the potatoes off. And all I have to do is put them in the pot. And this is about 9 pounds of potatoes. They already washed off. So I'm going to put them in here. I already added my salt. And I will let them cook. And I will come back with the finishing touch on both meat, on my meat and my potatoes. Alrighty. So what you see here is my sauce. I already made it up. I used Prego sauce. I used brown sugar. I used honey. I used a little syrup, and then I used some barbecue sauce. So that's how I pretty much make my sauce up. Sometimes I don't use the barbecue sauce. Sometimes I do. I decided to use it today. So that's my sauce. In 12 more minutes, my meatloaf will be ready, and I will slice it up accordingly on how they're gonna pick it up, or according to how I'm gonna fix it for them. I'll slice it very thin, and I will make sure I put the sauce in between each layer of the meat and also on top and around the meat. And I put it back in the oven for about 15 minutes to kind of let it cook, 15-20 minutes to let it cook and let it simmer on the meat, and it is delicious. But I know what I forgot to tell you guys. My sister has started a YouTube channel. The name of her YouTube channel is Lifestyles of KD. K.D. Lifestyles of KD. So please subscribe to my sister Kiki. And let's see what she has to talk about on Lifestyles of KD. I know she has some very interesting things to talk about, but I'm going to let her tell you guys about that. But if you would love to follow another subscriber, please do so at Lifestyles of KD, and that's my baby sister. I'll be back with the finishing touch this time. All right, the finishing touches on my meatloaf, as you guys can see, is very red. It's very delicious looking. I let it bake for like 20 minutes with the sauce that I made. It's already pre-sliced. I pre-sliced it already. So all I have to do is really take a spatula and serve it. Make sure that you put a pan or something up under the bottom, because it will you will get a little overspill when it's heating and cooking. And this is the finishing touch on the mashed potatoes. And I already told you guys how to make the homemade mashed potatoes when I was making up the meatloaf. And don't forget to subscribe to my sister, Lifestyles of KD. I'm sure she'll be uploading a video shortly. I'll plate this in a second. Indeed, this is the finishing touch on my meal for today. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to Kim and Maya. Peace.